Hi, I'm Shannon Reed, the CEO of Hecho Studios, and I'm here with my friend and client, Jared Carneson from Adobe. We're here coming to you live from Sport Beach at Cannes, talking about sport, fandom, culture, and creativity. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
All right, Jared, first question. Adobe Social, you're the head of social of Adobe. Adobe Social is kind of by creator for creator. So how do you guys think about that creativity and creator culture while also kind of owning a distinct brand point of view in the social space?
You know, I think that's the most interesting thing about Adobe. Our mission, empowering everyone to create, is kind of core to what we do in social. So I think you open the frame and you leave the canvas blank for creators to create beautiful work and meaningful work. No matter if they're just starting out, if they're at the peak of their or the prime of their careers, whether they're looking for an easy start and a quick way to edit some video, or if they're editing a massive motion picture. There's like a range of things that we open up for them. I think it was interesting when I first came in and making that pivot in your head around you're not just using creators to market something, you're also building the conditions for them to create something. And so there's this interesting dichotomy where the creator is the client, but also part of the marketing infrastructure and an evangelist at the same time. And it's just a fantastic space to play in.
Yeah. As you think about kind of empowering those creatives at the kind of center of technology, which is like the Adobe business, creativity, which is what they do for a living, and then just social in general, how do you think about empowering those people and really helping drive them forward and the creative space forward?
I mean, a couple different ways, right? So spanning from C-pros to creators to folks who just want to make a birthday invite, there are a variety of ways in. Obviously, there is creating best-in-class tools that if you're looking for pixel perfect precision, there's something for you. If you're looking just to create memes and send them to the group chat, there's something for you in there too. And so aside from the tools, it's also like the learning infrastructure, how we show up and build innovative solutions beyond just what's happening in the tool. We're really also exploring more recently, and I think it's been from the beginning, but more recently, we've started to expand the aperture of support for the creator economy. So it's not just about the tools supporting the creator economy, but also understanding that these people are operating businesses. And so how do you help them understand things about monetization? How do you help them understand like what should your first hire be when you're starting to open up the business? And I think the more we've kind of dug in there, we've understood our role more extensively in that space.
I love that thinking, and I think what you guys are doing at Creator Beach is really cool in helping kind of guide that and do some sessions with everyone on just everything from like Firefly and how to use it to empower your business, but all the way through from like that business context and how to educate them on how to kind of grow their business as creators themselves. We're here at Sport Beach, so we got to talk about sports.
Is that where we're at?
Yeah, I can't believe it. It's not. There's no big logos at all.
I know, right?
But I think as we kind of think about Sport Beach and sport culture itself, a lot of really amazing things in sport culture are happening in social, right? It's the memes, it's the clips, it's the creator content, it's the communities around these things and the fandoms around the channels. So how do you guys really think about activating in sport and social with creative together?
I think it's an essential part, right? Like I think a long time ago we spoke about the second screen. I think it's more than the second screen. It's now part of the fabric of fandom. It's a way to enjoy the game beyond the game. It's a way to explore your interests in unique ways, to support teams, to share context. It's part of the cultural fabric in which you interact with, your co-fans. And so it's really interesting to see, like, it can be everything from the edit, from the reaction video. I've seen people start to build really remarkable careers in this space, in the informal sector and the formal sector. I think that's been a fascinating thing to see, is like someone like Jessa really surge up in popularity, and he's great. His content's fantastic. The folks at Dude Perfect as well. I think there is, when you start to unpack culture of sports and fandom, it becomes you start to understand the full scale and scope of what it means to folks out there that are looking to engage beyond just a passive viewer.
I love that. And as you kind of think about sports marketing itself, like how do you really think about as a brand how you guys kind of contribute to sports marketing and sports marketing culture in a way that feels really unique to Adobe?
I mean, it goes back again to our core tenet of empowering everyone to create, right? Like regardless of what you create. Um, and it's everything from the edit room where final packages are going out to broadcast within Premiere to folks sharing their fandom online with each other through memes and social posts to those reaction videos that they're looking to cut down. I think in terms of sports marketing outside of that context is, we have really interesting partnerships with the NHL and the NFL, and Adobe powers a lot of those solutions within their studios as well. So it's really, it's critical that we have that constant feedback loop from people who are operating at the full, to the full extent of that business.
Yeah, I really think the way that you guys kind of partner with those orgs on a deeper level is super interesting, right? It's not just like a surface level partnership, it's a deeper product and technical integration that really empowers them to create in the most powerful ways with your technology.
Yes, it is, Shannon.
Yeah. Okay. As we think about like Adobe and the future, we've been working on some Firefly stuff together. Like as we think about kind of, there's the big scary AI thing, but I think there's just all the more of power of creativity, and creativity is becoming more and more powerful and more people are accessing it. So how do you really think about like the future of Adobe and the future of creativity in the next kind of like 3 years?
I mean, the future of creativity in my mind is always going to be human powered. It's human powered, AI augmented. I think the beautiful thing with AI and with every feature and functionality is when you start to talk to creators, you see how different their workflows are. And there's a massive amount of optionality in how you create. You can automate some of it through AI. And there's a difference, right? There are people who value perfect pixel precision and value, skill of hand. And there are certain things that you want to continually do through skill of hand. Like, no one wants to take the drawing out of drawing, right? But then you also get like an art director who is hunched over his laptop till like 3 a.m, rotoscoping each frame. There can be automation in rotoscoping. Auto-rotoscoping, like, changes the game for the person who wants to get home and see their kids like ballet recital, right? So I think a lot of people try and put it in one box, and I think people's perception and experience is just on the surface level. They see a text to a prompt and they assume that's everything, but it's far deeper. I think AI as a utility will eventually get to a place in the product where it's indistinguishable from other features, right? Like if you had to classify like the lasso tool and a bunch of the other features within our product suite and put them in a category and then say like, well, those features are bad and these features are good. It's just an evolution of how you create. I think it's exciting. I'm excited to see where it goes, right? I think there's a lot of, and this is in every industry, there's a lot of gatekeeping in industries, and we find a word to kind of create a category of dismissal for something that was new. And we've seen it before. We saw it with social media. Social media wasn't real creative. We saw it with iPhonography, right? It was like, those aren't real photos. Like a real photographer would never do that. I heard this interesting segment where I think it was Seth Rogen who was talking about Steven Spielberg. It's like they set up this beautiful set. And they were going to do these shots for like some film promo, and he just whipped out an iPhone and was just taking photos. And he's like, "Is that it? Like, where's the big camera? Like, yes, Steven Spielberg." Yeah. And he's like, "Oh, this is a great camera," and that just shows you the evolution of where that's gone. It's funny to see how that gatekeeping changes as the technology evolves and becomes more familiar for people.
Yeah. I think, we've talked about it internally as like superpowering their creativity. Like, how do we empower and enable these creators to like do more, to, reach further, do things they could never do before? And I think it's a really interesting way to kind of think about how we work with them.
It is. And I mean, you see it Hecho. I mean, I see it like within our studios in Adobe. The creatives that are harnessing this technology and bringing it into their workflow are more creative than ever. Like, a lot of folks are like, it's going to eliminate jobs, it's going to move through this space. This is probably something we can cut. But that's not the case for us. Yeah. Like, we're hiring more creatives than ever before within the context of our company.
Yeah.
So I think once you've harnessed it the right way, it's going to supercharge like the right kind of creative getting out into the world.
Love that. Okay, last question.
Yeah.
Hecho was part of 72 and Sunny. 72 and Sunny, it was founded on the principle of optimism. Would love to kind of hear you talk about optimism and your point of view on optimism.
Optimism is kind of, I have a different frame of reference for optimism, and I think it's critical. Like, optimism for me comes from two other qualities, and that is resilience and curiosity. And I think the best creatives in the world have both of those things in abundance, right? And it's when I talk about resilience, it's not about pushing through without feedback. It's the ability to take the feedback on and pivot it in a positive way. So that's a tenet of optimism for me. And then I think curiosity is not about just being interested in things like in a very general way. It's about being obsessed about finding out why things work the way they work and how they work. And so those two things, I think, fuel some of the best, most optimistic creatives in the industry. So it's a beautiful notion that 72 was founded on that.
That's it. That's all from Can. Follow 72 and Sunny on socials to keep up with what's next. Thanks, y'all.
Thanks.